5-1. Stop living as the person you used to be. Let me ask you something. How many times have you told yourself, "This is just who I am"? How many dreams have you abandoned because you believed your past had already decided your future? How many opportunities have you walked away from because an older version of yourself whispered, "You're not capable enough. You're not confident enough. You're not ready"? Here's what I want you to understand today. The person you were yesterday is not your identity. It is only your history. Too many people spend years carrying around an outdated version of themselves. They keep introducing themselves to the world through old failures, old heartbreaks, old mistakes, and old disappointments. They wear their past like a permanent label, when in reality it was only a temporary chapter. Think about that. You cannot create a different future while insisting on being the same person who created your current reality. Growth begins the moment you stop defending the life that no longer serves you. Every morning, you wake up with a choice. You can repeat yesterday, or you can become someone yesterday could never imagine. The greatest transformation never starts with changing your job, your income, your relationship, or your surroundings. It starts by changing the story you keep telling yourself. Because your mind is always listening. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm unlucky," you'll find proof of it everywhere. If you keep saying, "I always fail," your brain will search for evidence to confirm it. But the moment you begin saying, "I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm becoming stronger every single day," your actions begin to follow your beliefs. This is why real change is not about pretending the past never happened. It's about refusing to let it make today's decisions. Maybe you failed before. Maybe you gave up too early. Maybe someone doubted you. Maybe life knocked you down harder than you expected. But none of those moments have the authority to define the rest of your life unless you keep giving them permission. Your past is a lesson, not a life sentence. The strongest people in the world are not those who never made mistakes. They are the people who stopped introducing themselves by those mistakes. Imagine meeting someone who has completely reinvented their life. You don't admire them because they had an easy journey. You admire them because they refused to stay trapped in the person they used to be. And that's exactly what is possible for you. Every confident person was once uncertain. Every disciplined person was once inconsistent. Every successful person was once unknown. They didn't wait to become different. They decided to become different. The best version of you is not waiting for perfect circumstances. The best version of you is waiting for one decision. The decision to stop living as someone you've already outgrown. So today, leave behind the excuses. Leave behind the labels. Leave behind the fear that keeps reminding you of who you used to be. Because your future is asking something very simple as, will you keep repeating your past? Or will you finally become the person you were created to be? Your Fenpri says it too. Your daily choices are creating your future self every single day. Your life is being shaped not by one dramatic decision, but by hundreds of small choices that most people never think twice about. Think about it. The moment you wake up, you're already making decisions. You choose whether to get out of bed when the alarm rings or hit snooze one more time. You choose whether to spend your first few minutes feeding your mind with purpose or distracting yourself with endless scrolling. You choose whether to move toward the life you dream about or settle for the comfort of familiar habits. At first, these decisions seem insignificant. But here's what most people fail to understand. Your future is never created in one extraordinary moment. It is quietly built through ordinary moments repeated over and over again. The person you become a year from now will not simply be the result of luck, talent, or circumstances. It will be the result of the choices you made when no one was watching. The decisions that felt too small to matter are often the ones that matter most. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, you strengthen your character. Every time you choose courage over fear, you expand your confidence. Every time you choose patience over frustration, you become emotionally stronger. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you move one step closer to becoming the person you've always wanted to be. Here's the truth. You don't suddenly become confident. You become confident by repeatedly choosing to do things that once scared you. You don't suddenly become disciplined. You become disciplined by keeping promises to yourself, especially on the days when you don't feel motivated. You don't suddenly become successful. You become successful by making the right decisions long before anyone notices the results. The life you admire in someone else is usually the product of thousands of invisible choices they made long before the applause ever came. People often say they want a better future, but wanting isn't enough. Your calendar reveals your priorities. Your habits reveal your direction. Your daily choices reveal the person you're becoming. You cannot expect tomorrow to look different if today looks exactly like yesterday. If every day is filled with procrastination, distractions, negativity, and excuses, then the future will simply become an extension of those same patterns. But imagine choosing differently. Imagine reading instead of wasting another hour online. Imagine exercising instead of postponing your health again. Imagine learning a new skill instead of saying, "I'll start next week." Imagine keeping one promise to yourself every single day. Those choices may seem small today, but they are quietly building a completely different version of you. This is how transformation happens. Not through overnight miracles, not through perfect motivation, but through consistent decisions that align with the life you want to create. Remember this: every decision is casting a vote for the person you are becoming. When you choose integrity, you're voting for a stronger character. When you choose consistency, you're voting for a more disciplined future. When you choose hope instead of doubt, you're voting for a more resilient mindset. Your future self is being built right now, not tomorrow, not next month, not next year. Right now. The question isn't whether you're creating your future. You already are. The real question is this: are today's choices creating the future you truly want, or the future you'll one day wish you had changed while you still had the chance? And please 3. Growth begins where comfort ends. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you did something that genuinely challenged you? Not something easy, not something familiar, not something you already knew you could do. I'm talking about the kind of decision that made your heart race. The kind of opportunity that made you wonder if you were really capable. The kind of moment where every excuse inside you begged you to stay exactly where you were. Because here's the truth: everything you've ever wanted is waiting on the other side of discomfort. Yet most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid it. We naturally seek what feels safe. We stay in routines we've outgrown. We keep the same habits because they're familiar. We postpone difficult conversations. We delay big dreams. We convince ourselves that someday will be the perfect time to begin. But comfort has a hidden cost. It may feel peaceful today, but over time it quietly steals your potential. It convinces you that staying where you are is safer than risking failure. It whispers that change can wait. Before you know it, weeks become months. Months become years, and one day you wake up wondering where all the time went. Comfort doesn't always look like happiness. Sometimes it looks like settling. Settling for less than you're capable of. Settling for average when greatness is possible. Settling for a life that feels secure but no longer inspires you. And that's one of the greatest tragedies. Not failing, but never discovering what you were truly capable of because you refused to leave what felt familiar. Think about every meaningful achievement in your life. Learning a new skill was uncomfortable. Starting something new was uncomfortable. Speaking in front of people was uncomfortable. Facing rejection was uncomfortable. Growing through failure was uncomfortable. Yet every one of those experiences made you stronger than you were before. The moments you once feared often become the moments you later thank yourself for embracing. Because growth has never lived inside your comfort zone. Growth lives in the places where certainty disappears and courage takes over. It lives in the decision to try even when success isn't guaranteed. It lives in showing up after disappointment. It lives in taking one more step when every part of you wants to quit. That's where confidence is built. Many people believe confidence comes first. It doesn't. Confidence comes after courage. You act before you feel ready. You keep going before you feel certain. You learn before you feel qualified. And every small act of courage becomes evidence that you are stronger than your fears. Remember this: your comfort zone is designed to protect who you are today, but your purpose is calling you toward who you can become tomorrow. Those two things cannot exist in the same place forever. If you always choose comfort, you'll never discover your full potential. If you always choose growth, discomfort eventually becomes familiar, and what once terrified you becomes part of who you are. Imagine looking back 1 year from today. Will you be grateful that you stayed safe? Or will you be grateful that you finally took the chance, embraced the uncertainty, and trusted yourself enough to grow? The people you admire are not fearless. They simply decided that their dreams were more important than their comfort. They understood that every challenge carried a lesson. Every setback carried wisdom. Every obstacle carried an opportunity to become stronger. So don't run from the difficult moments. Don't fear the seasons that stretch you. Don't mistake discomfort for failure. Sometimes discomfort is proof that you're finally moving in the right direction. The life you've been dreaming about doesn't begin when everything feels easy. It begins the moment you stop asking, "How can I stay comfortable?" and start asking, "Who do I need to become?" Because the greatest version of you will never be found by staying where it's comfortable. It will always be discovered the moment you have the courage to step beyond everything that feels familiar. Docs 134. Become someone you can truly respect. Let me ask you a question that very few people ever stop to answer honestly. When you are completely alone, with no audience to impress, no social media to post on, and no one telling you who you should be, do you genuinely respect the person looking back at you in the mirror? Not because of your income, not because of your appearance, not because of your job title or the opinions of other people, but because of your character, because of the promises you keep, because of the way you live when nobody is watching. You see, we live in a world that constantly teaches us to chase admiration from others. We chase likes, compliments, applause, promotions, and recognition. We spend years trying to convince the world that we're successful. But what if the greatest achievement isn't earning someone else's respect? What if it's earning your own? Because here's the truth. The relationship you have with yourself is the foundation of every other relationship in your life. If you don't trust yourself, every decision becomes harder. If you don't respect yourself, you'll constantly seek validation from people who were never meant to define your worth. If you don't believe in your own integrity, you'll always feel like you're pretending instead of becoming. Real confidence isn't built by hearing people praise you. Real confidence is built by knowing that your actions match your values. It comes from doing what you said you would do. It comes from keeping your word, even when breaking it would be easier. It comes from choosing honesty when nobody would ever know the difference. Character is not revealed in your biggest moments. It is revealed in your smallest choices. The choice to wake up when you promised yourself you would. The choice to finish what you started. The choice to speak with kindness instead of anger. The choice to remain disciplined even when motivation disappears. These moments may seem ordinary, but they are quietly shaping the person you are becoming. Every promise you keep to yourself sends a powerful message. I can trust myself. Every promise you break teaches the opposite. Over time, those small moments become your identity. That's why self-respect isn't something you suddenly wake up with. It's something you build, one decision at a time. Many people spend years trying to become impressive. Instead, focus on becoming dependable. Become someone whose words carry weight because your actions always follow. Become someone who chooses integrity over convenience. Become someone who remains humble when success arrives and resilient when failure appears. Become someone who doesn't need to pretend to be strong because you've quietly built strength through consistency. Here's something worth remembering. The world may celebrate talent, it may reward charisma, it may admire achievement, but none of those things will give you lasting peace if you secretly know you're not living according to your own standards. True fulfillment comes when your private life and your public life tell the same story. When the person you show the world is the same person you are behind closed doors. That is integrity. And an integrity creates a confidence that no criticism can destroy. There will always be people who misunderstand you. There will always be people who doubt you. There will always be voices trying to tell you who you should become. Don't build your life around earning their approval. Build your life around becoming someone whose own conscience is at peace. Someone who can lay their head on the pillow each night, knowing they acted with honesty, courage, discipline, and purpose. Because at the end of the day, you'll spend more time with yourself than with anyone else. So make sure you're becoming someone whose company you actually enjoy, someone you admire, someone you trust, someone you are proud to be. The greatest success is not hearing the world say, "Panos, I'm proud of you." But the greatest success is looking in the mirror and being able to say those words to yourself with complete honesty. Because the best version of you is not measured by what you've accumulated. Success, it is measured by the kind of person you've chosen to become. Tafan 5v5. Stay consistent even when nobody notices. Let me tell you something that almost nobody wants to hear. The most important days of your journey will be the days when nothing seems to be happening. No applause, no recognition, no breakthrough, no visible results. Just another ordinary day where you're asked to show up again, and again, and again. Most people are excited when they begin. They buy the books, they make the plans, they set the goals, they tell everyone they're about to change their life. But after a few weeks, reality arrives, the excitement fades, the progress feels slow, the results don't come as quickly as they expected. And that's the moment when most people quit. Not because they aren't capable, but because they confused a lack of immediate results with a lack of progress. Here's the truth. Some of the most important work you'll ever do is work that nobody else will see. The early mornings when you choose discipline over comfort. The late nights when you keep learning while others are distracted. The quiet moments when you continue improving even though nobody is applauding. Those moments don't look impressive, but they are building something extraordinary. Success is rarely created in the spotlight. It is created in the silence. The champion isn't made on the day they lift the trophy. They're made during the thousands of unseen hours of practice that came before it. The confident speaker isn't created the moment they step onto the stage. They're created during every rehearsal that nobody watched. The successful entrepreneur isn't built when the business finally succeeds. They're built during every setback. They refuse to let define them. The world celebrates the visible result, but the result is only the final chapter. The real story is written in the invisible work. That's why consistency is so powerful. It asks you one simple question every single day. Thus, will you keep going even when nobody is watching? Because anyone can stay committed when life feels exciting. Anyone can work hard when the compliments keep coming. Anyone can stay motivated when success arrives quickly. But character is revealed when none of those things are present. Character is built when you continue showing up after disappointment. When you keep learning after making mistakes. When you keep believing after facing rejection. When you keep moving forward even though the finish line is nowhere in sight. Remember this. A seed planted beneath the ground doesn't look like it's growing. For weeks, maybe even months, nothing appears on the surface. If you judged its progress only by what you could see, you would think nothing was happening. But beneath the soil, roots are spreading, strength is developing, the foundation is being built, and when the time is right, growth becomes visible. Your life works the same way. Just because you can't see immediate results doesn't mean your effort is being wasted. Every disciplined decision is strengthening your character. Every small improvement is preparing you for bigger opportunities. Every day you refuse to quit is making you someone who can handle the success you're asking for. Don't let temporary silence convince you that permanent success is impossible. The greatest breakthroughs often happen after the longest seasons of consistency. Most people stop one step before their progress finally becomes visible. Don't be one of them. Stay faithful to the process. Trust the unseen work. Believe that every small action matters, even when no one else notices. One day, people will look at your life and call your success overnight. They'll see the achievement, but not the years of quiet commitment behind it. They'll admire the confidence, but not the countless moments you chose courage over comfort. They'll celebrate the victory, but never fully understand the sacrifice that made it possible. And that's okay, because you were never working for applause. You were working to become the person your dreams required. So keep showing up, keep improving, keep learning, keep believing, keep taking one more step, even when the path feels lonely. Because every day you remain consistent, you're proving something far more valuable than your talent. You're proving that your commitment is stronger than your emotions. And people with that kind of commitment don't just achieve success. They become the kind of person who can sustain it for a lifetime. Also, 6. The best version of you is built one day at a time. We live in a world that celebrates overnight success. We see the finished product. We see the success story. We see the confidence, the achievements, the recognition, and the victories. But what we rarely see are the thousands of ordinary days that came before them. We don't see the early mornings. We don't see the setbacks. We don't see the lonely seasons. We don't see the moments when they questioned themselves, but chose to keep going anyway. And that's why so many people become discouraged. They compare someone else's finished chapter to the first page of their own journey. They expect massive transformation in a matter of days. They believe that if their life hasn't completely changed after a few weeks, then they must be doing something wrong. But real transformation has never worked that way. The greatest version of you is not created in one extraordinary moment. It is built through thousands of ordinary moments. One decision, one habit, one lesson, one act of courage, one disciplined day at a time. Think about how nature works. A mighty oak tree doesn't appear overnight. It begins as a tiny seed hidden beneath the ground. For a long time, nothing dramatic seems to happen. Yet every single day, roots are growing deeper. Strength is developing. The foundation is becoming stronger. Then one day, the growth that was invisible becomes impossible to ignore. Your life follows the same principle. Every book you read adds another layer of wisdom. Every workout makes you a little stronger. Every challenge teaches you resilience. Every failure gives you experience. Every difficult conversation develops courage. Every promise you keep to yourself strengthens your character. None of these moments seem life-changing on their own, but together, they create a completely different person. Too many people quit because they underestimate the power of small progress. They think they need giant leaps. In reality, life is transformed through consistent steps. Imagine improving by just 1% every single day. It doesn't feel impressive today. It may not even feel noticeable tomorrow, but over months and years, those small improvements become extraordinary results. The gap between who you are today and who you dream of becoming isn't crossed in one leap. It's crossed through daily choices. The person you admire isn't someone who woke up one morning and suddenly became disciplined. They simply refuse to stop becoming. Day after day, week after week, year after year, there will be days when you're inspired. There will also be days when you're tired. Days when you feel confident. Days when doubt creeps into your mind. Days when progress feels obvious. Days when it feels completely invisible. Don't let those difficult days convince you that you're failing. They are part of the process. The people who ultimately succeed aren't always the smartest. They aren't always the most talented. Often, they are simply the ones who stayed committed long enough for their efforts to compound. They understood that success isn't built by intensity. It's built by consistency. Here's something worth remembering. Every sunrise gives you another opportunity to become the person you couldn't become yesterday. Every new day is another chance to think differently, to act differently, to choose differently, to grow a little more than you did before. You don't need to change your entire life today. You don't need to have every answer. You don't need to become perfect overnight. You only need to win today. Then wake up tomorrow and win that day too. And before you realize it, those ordinary days will become an extraordinary life. One day, you'll look back at the person you used to be, and you'll barely recognize them. Not because one miracle changed everything, but because you chose to keep showing up. You chose to keep learning. You chose to keep believing. You chose to keep growing one day at a time. The best version of you has never been waiting at the finish line. It has been taking shape through every decision you've made to move forward instead of giving up. So don't rush your journey. Don't compare your timeline to anyone else's. Trust the process. Trust the daily work. Trust the person you're becoming. Because greatness isn't built in a single day. The best version of you is built one faithful, disciplined, courageous day at a time. And one day, you'll realize those ordinary days created the extraordinary life you always dreamed of. Doffalila's ending of the speech. As we come to the end of this conversation, I want to leave you with one final thought. The best version of you is not a fantasy. It is not reserved for a lucky few. It is not waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect circumstances. It is waiting for one decision. The decision to stop letting your past define your future. The decision to choose growth over comfort. The decision to become someone you can truly respect. The decision to stay consistent, even when nobody is watching. And the decision to believe that every single day is another chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you were yesterday. Remember, your life will not change because you listen to a motivational speech. Your life will change because you act on what you've heard after this speech is over. When you leave today, nothing around you may look different. The same challenges may still exist. The same obstacles may still be there. But if your mindset has changed, then everything has changed. Because every extraordinary life begins with an ordinary person who decides they will no longer settle for less than they are capable of becoming. Years from now, you'll either look back with gratitude because you had the courage to begin, or you'll look back with regret because you kept waiting for the perfect time. Don't wait. Start today. Take the first step, then take another tomorrow, and another the day after that. Because every small decision you make is shaping the person you'll become. Never underestimate the power of one disciplined day, one courageous choice, or one promise kept to yourself. Those moments may seem small now, but they are quietly building a life that one day will inspire everyone around you. So stand a little taller, believe a little deeper, work a little harder. Keep moving forward, even when the road feels lonely. Because the world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It needs the strongest, wisest, and most authentic version of best you. And I promise you this, if you refuse to quit, if you keep growing, if you keep showing up, if you keep becoming just 1% better every single day, then one day you'll wake up, look in the mirror, and realize something incredible. You are no longer chasing the best version of yourself, Torsessen. You have become that person. Thank you. And never stop becoming the person your future is waiting for.